I'm Tim Burnland from Whoville. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tim Burnland, your host today, coming to you live from a random garage in Braddock Hills, Pennsylvania. Here with my esteemed colleague, D. Walt. D, glad to have you here.
My pleasure to be here with you, Tim. I'm so glad you sobered up for this one.
D, always bringing the jokes. We have a lively event here for you today where the ever unpopular John Malecki will try to not die of dehydration while building 25 boxes in a single workday. The drunken idiots that are all over the tri-state area have been here since the crack of dawn looking for any excuse they can to get wild. Let's take it outside to see how some of them are doing.
Oh, my eyes will never be able to unsee that.
I don't think mine can either, D. Mine can't either. Before we cut into the action, we're going to take it on down the locker room and give you a little pre-game speech.
All right, boys. Listen up, you sorry sacks of horse manure. This is the big leagues. We got the call. It's game day. I want you to get out there and build like your lives depend on it. 25 boxes, one day. Can you handle it? I can't hear you, Johnson.
Who the hell is Johnson? I have no clue.
It's moments like this where champions are made. These opportunities present themselves once in a lifetime. You're gonna tell your kids about them. You're gonna tell your kids' kids. And if you're lucky enough, they're gonna put you on camera and you're gonna tell your kids' kids. Do not take your eye off the prize when you're on the battlefield today, boys. It will be hard. It will be hot. It will be sweaty. It will be gruesome. But just know, I lost my train of thought. But just get out there and whip some ass! Like, go get them!
Well, that got weird. Quick.
Almost as weird as that dodgeball game we did in Mexico.
Yeah, my mustache still smells. And I just got word, John is now ready to enter the arena. He is gearing up with one of his classic pregame rituals and one of his hometown heroes, Christina Aguilera's pregame playlist. Let's take it out to the tunnel. And we're off. It seems John's got the belly out already. Hit the gym, big fella. He's struggling to throw around this 4x8 sheet of 3/4 inch plywood, which could be a problem down the line. He seems to be hyper-focused and, intelligently has set himself up with some sawhorses right next. That is a bold move, D. What do you think?
I think you smell like malt liquor.
D. Rookie move, dropping the tape measure. As you guys can tell, John is full of emotion here for this build. This seems to be something he is thoroughly enjoying already. And we're only in the first 3 minutes. You're screwed, big guy. John seems to be revving up there with whatever he's listening to in those overpriced headphones. My guess would be something from the mid to late 90s. And like I said, like a fat kid at camp, he is sweating profusely. Now stay hydrated, children, if you're watching this, because you could die. It looks like in prevention of the extreme heat in the shop, John has actually went out and got some fans. Now, these are potentially his only fans. And they are blowing rapidly, trying to keep him cool. If you guys were not aware, it is at least 100 degrees in the shop today. As we all know, John went to the University of Pittsburgh, and potentially his mathematical acuity is not very high. Well, it finally seems like all of those long strips of plywood have been ripped down, and now he's moving over to struggling with his crosscut sled. This is a new addition to the shop John hasn't been using very often because he's not actually that good of a woodworker. Now, Dee, what do you think about this technique here of how he's drinking his water?
I find it much more efficient to lean down into a babbling brook to drink water.
Yes, Dee, I think if all of us could, we'd bend our pretty little noses down to the creek and lick the water out of it gently like you do. As it looks from here, exhaustion is beginning to set in. We all know John no longer trains for sports because he's a washed-up athlete, and he seems to be getting tired. Let's see if he makes any mistakes. Oh, it looks like John is calling in his old friend Cartan Brodeur from the likes of what we think is French Canada, John's most beloved country. And oh, look at how adorable it is. They've been seeing each other on and off for about 8 months now, and it's great to see Cartan back in it. What a beautiful reunion. So it seems now, as it typically is, Cartan is putting the team on his back. So from what it seems, John actually forgot to cut one of the pieces. Like I said, he can't do math. So now he's making up for his mistake. This could cost him on the back end as far as time goes. So Timberland Pro is actually celebrating their 20th anniversary, which is a fantastic milestone. And with that, they've released some awesome new apparel, which they'll be sending out to makers all over the woodworking community. If you're one of the individuals who happens to get a box, just make sure you throw it directly into the trash, because we know John only makes trash. I wonder if this material will be the mysterious northern white pine.
I hate white pine. My daddy died in the forest of white pine.
I'm sorry to hear that your father died in the forest of white pine, Dee. Well, looks like John's back at the water cooler again because he continues to be extremely out of shape. Now that he's back onto the table saw here, let's see what he's going to do with these pine boards. Seems like we're going to be here for a while, ladies and gentlemen. He has a dozen of these boards, and it looks like he's ripping them into tiny strips. Dee, if you need to, you could take that potty break you've been asking me for the last 3.5 hours.
No, Tim, you're just trying to go drink in the parking lot again.
You're welcome. Well, now we have what is called the dust collection alarm system. Seems that the dust collector is now full, and John is completely ignoring it because he wants someone else to take care of it for him. Only problem is John's by himself today because we refused to purchase any help for him. Fortunately, we have a very, very kind video guy here, and he seems to be sweeping up the floor. I really hope that this doesn't slow him down because he will definitely be missing that deadline of 5 p.m. in which he has to go to his Weight Watchers appointment because that dude needs to go on a diet quick. Back in the shop where John is blowing himself off with the air compressor. This is a classic pro move in order to keep yourself cool and keep the dust off of that glistening, sweaty skin. John is now batch cross-cutting all of the pieces that will potentially be the framing for these boxes. He's labeling them because his memory is shot after years of being a backup in sports leagues and where he bashed his head into other people for measly pennies. I will give credit where credit is due, and that is a pro move using that backer there in order to help alleviate any pressure on the blade so that nothing kicks back and hits him in the face. Seems like we've gotten to the monotony of the project in which John will be taking hundreds of parts and assembling them into the boxes. So we in the booth here are going to take what we used to call a smoke break, but now, because everything's PC, we've just got to call it a break. We'll catch you in 5. Someone give me a damn cigarette. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will conclude the first half of this build. We definitely don't think John's going to make it. I thought he couldn't hear me. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will conclude the first half of this build. John needs to go take a shower, rehydrate, potentially eat an entire Italian sub. There's a delicious spot up the street, actually, if you want to go get one.
Tim, you know I'm on a strict vegan diet.
I don't care if you're a vegetarian.
It's vegan. They're different. God, you're so insensitive.
Either way, enjoy the halftime show.
John, how was halftime?
Well, halftime was good. Hot.
Do you think you'll be able to finish this intense project?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Okay. Yeah, let's get back to it.
Okay.
Well, seems that John is continually attempting to use his very lacking skills of athleticism here in order to throw things in the trash. Not doing too well for him, just making more of a mess. Can't wait to watch him clean that up later. All right, it looks like we're fueled back up here with a little bit of caffeine and potentially some of that grandfather's syrup. We're having ourselves a lively time in the shop. John's back in it. Wore the same exact shirt. Smells terrible, but he's getting back into the grind. He just busted out the nail gun. He turned the compressor up, and now we're making some boxes. What do you think, D?
I think you need to sober up and calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down, D. Don't tell me to calm down. It looks like we are finally onto the stage in which something is starting to resemble a box. Thank God. It seems like what John's doing here is taking the parts that coincide as the sides of the boxes here and putting them together with just 18 gauge brad nails. I wonder if this idiot knows that that gun has bump mode. Interesting technique John seems to be using there. Let's get a replay of that last nail. Ooh, such a smooth technique. D, I do believe that you were named after the brand that created that nail gun?
Well, no, Tim, I was named after my Uncle Dennis, whom everyone called D.
Nah, D, you were not named after your great uncle D. You were named after D. Wall.
No, I wasn't, you liar. You
The
drunk.
boxes seem to be stacking up nicely. The fans seem to still be working. John still seems to be sweating profusely, and things are moving along nicely. John has still yet to figure out that that gun has bump mode. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that John has finally figured out that that gun actually does have bump mode, and we are rocking and rolling here with the ends of these carcasses. Hey, can I get another one of those coffees? It seems like John's really getting these things coming together now, D. What do you think?
I think you smell like cigarettes and
I
coffee.
refuse to slow down on drinking those coffees. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting all hot and bothered here. It seems that John has asked his friend Sam Green to make
Why
him
the
a
hell
stencil
do you
on
sound
this beautiful
Southern?
machine that spits fire and shoots out parts amazingly out of nothing.
Tim, I think that's called a plasma CNC.
D has just informed me it's called a plasma CNC.
Oh, they really need to stop paying me more.
Oh my, that thing is beautiful. Looks like he is taking that stencil and laying down some beautiful stenciling on the outside of these boxes. This seems to be the only thing that I find intelligent about this entire build. As that final finish is going on, these things are really starting to come together. D, can you feel the excitement in the room?
Well, I actually
I
think
don't
he's...
actually care what you have to say because I'm excited.
That's rude.
This is going to be awesome. John's coming down to the wire. The final box is getting sprayed. Oh my goodness. Can you feel the energy in the room?
What is wrong with him? I can't do this anymore, people.
And as you do with most builds, John is now stacking up all of the things that he made in order to take a stupid photograph for Instagram. So thank you guys so much for checking this one out. This one was a lot of fun, a little bit different, but if you want to see some more craziness, make sure you're hitting the video I got linked up for you right here. I also want to thank Timberland Pro for sponsoring this build. If you want to see their new fall lineup of clothes and boots, I've got that link down in the description. And lastly, thank you one more time for tuning in, and don't forget to stay hydrated while you go punch your next project in the face. This is gonna suck.